Was Abraham Lincoln a president?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was just a whatever public figure.
Welcome back to Delulu Diaries, where the timelines don't match, but the receipts always do. Since Amberlynn's been taking a break from work, I thought we could go ahead and look at all of the times that she's squandered business opportunities before. Before we get into the video, I do just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who has sent me fan art and super chats, as well as to all of my members. I do have 2 tiers available, as well as a Patreon that I'll link below if you would like to support me in that way. However, if you want to support in a way that is non-monetary, just leaving a like and subscribing really helps my channel grow so much. So I really appreciate all of you guys, no matter what steps you want to take to support me. It just means so much to me that you guys are even here. Let's go ahead and get into the video though.
So today, I'm going in. I'm being trained. Today is my first day. Like,
I gotta call my dad.
what? Destiny and I are like freaking out. We're like, oh my god, is this really happening? This is really happening. I have a freaking job. I filled out an application for this living facility where they help people who don't really have anywhere to live, who can't help themselves. So you have to take care of them.
So this first part is going to be reviewing her very first job, where she worked at the assisted elderly care home. This was her talking about getting ready for her first day after Destiny helped her get the job, because Destiny got hired first. So she really did have a good opportunity here because she already had a connection going in.
So I just got off of work. I was actually volunteering today. So my schedule is I'm either working or volunteering every single day. The only day that I have completely off would be Wednesdays, which so does Destiny. Hello everybody. So I'm currently at work right now. I'm actually in a resident's room. They're showering in this door. I have time to just say hello real quick. Stop. We're at work.
So as you can see, we're already starting off strong with doing things that I personally would not do. First, she says that she is volunteering every day except for the day that Destiny is off, as well as working shifts. And we found out later through Destiny's version of events that Amber was just going in to hang out with Destiny. So if you're working somewhere and then you go in just to like goof off with your girlfriend when you're not supposed to be there, I'm sure she probably helped a little here and there, but that doesn't give a good impression to your boss if it's just to hang out in the break room, which we do see her doing even on the shifts that she is supposedly working. So I don't think that she was in there volunteering in a super meaningful way. I think it was mostly just to hang out with Destiny. Then in the next clip, we can see that she is recording in a resident's room, which is so crazy. I mean, elderly care already doesn't get the best people working in it sometimes. And so this is the kind of quality of care that really bothers me, because if I did have to put my parents into an elderly care facility, I would like to think that their room is a private space for them. Obviously, I understand that workers will be in there, but it feels really invasive for her to be recording while a resident is taking a shower. So I don't know. I understand that she doesn't show anything about the resident or the resident's room, but to me, I feel like that is crossing a boundary. And on top of that, you know, people are going to see her vlog and be able to report her to her workplace, which they did. So she is putting her job in jeopardy. And then the last clip before the cut was her talking to Destiny while they're at work, and Destiny is obviously trying to get her to tone it down because they are at work, but Amber still has her camera out. So, you know, just another thing where, yes, she didn't get fired for it, but that is something that could make her lose the job. And since her and Destiny live together, this is their household's only source of income. So it's kind of crazy to me that she was so flippant with what she was doing when she was there.
Okay. We'll get it fixed.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. No problem.
Thank you.
I think you will.
Yeah.
We will.
Tired on your feet.
Oh yeah, my feet are definitely tired. Good night. You want to go where? Target?
Toilet.
Oh, you want to go to the toilet? Right there.
We got one here.
Nope. Turn this way. There you go. You'll see it.
I don't think that this was a post that they were not able to leave. I think this is just the office where they kind of hang out in between doing things. And Amber worked the night shift, I believe, every time that she was working. I'm not 100% sure what her schedule was. But either way, I'm just saying that's why they're in the office when she's recording, because there's not as much to do when it's like sleep hours. But either way, in the first clip, somebody comes to report that something's broken, and I understand that she's tying up her hair when they come in, so like she can't do anything about it then. But as soon as they leave, she starts just like looking at herself in the viewfinder instead of getting up to either report that to somebody else or to fix it herself, depending on what it is. And then, you know, I could almost give her a pass for that because it's like, well, maybe somebody else is reporting it or whatever. We don't see what's not on camera, obviously. But then in the second clip, somebody's asking where the bathroom is. Keep in mind, these are elderly people who are, you know, trying to get taken care of here. And instead of like walking them to the bathroom, she just gives instructions, and you can tell the guy's like still a little confused about where to go. And I just think that's crazy. Like, even with able-bodied people, when I was working retail and I'd be on my feet for like 8+ hours. So, you know, I understand if her feet are tired or whatever, but I used to do it, so she can too. I would walk people to the aisle where the product was unless they specifically said like, I don't want that. So she can get up and show this person where the toilets are.
Here, you can do the towels. Lulu can't come in.
Okay, so there's a tornado warning and we're at work right now. I get off in an hour, so I gotta go bust my ass real quick. You can't walk very fast? Just go. Sit over there. Oh, did you guys notice that I have, instead of a hoop, I put a little... Did you notice that?
Maybe you can't be in here.
Destiny.
I'm not gonna eat in here. You can't be in here. You can't be in here, Moo.
The way that Amber talks to the residents is so disrespectful in my eyes. Like, I would be really irritated if I was visiting a family member and I heard somebody telling them, oh, just go sit over there. You know what I mean? Like, either go help the person. Once again, if they're like saying that they don't walk fast because they're struggling, go help the person walk to where they're trying to get to. And if they're saying it just because they feel like they're in the way and they don't need help, then why would you need to give them an instruction to go sit down? Like, it doesn't make sense no matter how you think about it. And so I just really did not care for that. And then she can hear that Destiny is trying to tell somebody that they can't enter a room. And she just keeps talking about whatever she wants to talk about. I'm assuming this might have been a day that she was volunteering, so she was there just to basically hang out with Destiny. But you still have to make sure that they are able to do their job. You can't just be visiting on the clock. Then, if we put all of that to the side, the fact that she's filming in the office and like throwing the camera around to all of these different angles, oh my gosh, my little HIPAA heart was like beating so fast. I used to work in healthcare, and they are so like paranoid about that. We would have to keep all of our paperwork upside down or in file folders. We were constantly told to make sure that nobody was putting cameras over the little check-in desk or anything like that. If people came into my private office, I had to make sure that all of my stuff was hidden and that my screen was off and everything. Like, they really do not mess around with HIPAA in the healthcare areas. So to see her just like sitting there filming, I'm like, oh my gosh, if your boss saw this and they were anything like my boss, that's like a warning level offense where you can get like, I think 2 warnings before you get fired. At least in my job, that's how it worked. But yeah, no, I was like, that's crazy. I would never do that. So while she didn't get fired from this job, there was just so many ways that she really could have messed it up. And she does say later on that her boss is like a huge fan of her channel and like happens to watch them and that everything's okay. But I'm like, I don't really buy that. I don't think that that was accurate information. I think at most her boss reviewed the footage and was like, okay, it's okay that you're posting that. But I think even that's crazy because pretty much every vlog she has of her working is going over some boundary that would not slide in any of the places I've ever worked before.
All right, Casey. What do you mean? What's wrong with
Do that to me? No, God dang.
Okay, I'll stop. Oh, shit.
Quit, I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm gonna pee.
She doesn't look like herself.
Damn, there's a booger right there.
I'm not going to say anything about her breaking the furniture because while that is going to cost her company money to replace, it's not really her fault, you know what I mean? So that's like a regular business expense. What I will say is that they're being extraordinarily loud for a night shift. And as you can see, her coworker who does not want to be filmed and still ended up on YouTube and is on YouTube to this day, thanks Amber, was able to stifle her laughter to a reasonable level, whereas Destiny was a little bit louder, and then Amber with her little hyena laugh was the loudest. And it's like, you have to keep in mind where you're at. You can't just be doing that. Also, filming her coworker who doesn't want to be filmed is a great way to get caught recording at work, because all that coworker has to do is file a complaint to their boss and say, hey, this is like not a nice work environment because this person keeps filming me and putting me up on the internet without my consent, which she would be within her full right to do. You are able to make a report that you don't feel comfortable in your work environment. Then in the next clip, Destiny's like rubbing her face all over the sneeze guard at their office, which is so gross. Like, if my family member lived there, I would be kind of disgusted that that's what's going on. I'm sure, well, I shouldn't even say I'm sure. I would like to think that they wiped it down and disinfected it afterwards, but it's Destiny and Amber who frickin' knows. However, I will say once again, Amber is swinging that camera around, and there is paperwork that you can see. I did pause and look to see if anything looked like it needed to be redacted, because I would have done it on my channel if it needed to be, and I didn't see anything. But that's still something that you shouldn't be doing. Like I said before, generally speaking, companies don't want you filming anywhere that any company-related materials are. So even though the only things nearby is basically like a script for answering the phone and then a commonly answered question sheet or whatever, it's still not something that should be on the internet.
So I'm currently at work, and I just need to show you what is occurring. We are making I helped a little bit. I'm gonna be doing the sprinkles. We're making like a ice cream cake for the residents. And here are the sprinkles. I'm doing the sprinkle part. So we have these ice cream sandwiches, some whipped cream, graham cracker, ice cream sandwiches again. Then it'll be whipped cream, and then some more sprinkle. I get way too excited over the smallest things.
I know that some restaurants don't use gloves when they're preparing food because there is some like controversy over if using gloves is more or less sanitary, because when you're wearing gloves, sometimes you don't notice that you are cross-contaminating things, whereas when you are barehanded, you wash your hands more frequently because you know what you've been touching. However, in this instance, I think it is so gross that they are not wearing gloves, and then you can see Amber go directly from handling her phone to vlog to dipping her hand into the sprinkle bin, and then she's bringing her hand fairly close to her mouth while she's talking. So I'm like, oh, you're getting like your mouth breathing air on your hands. You just touched your phone, which God knows where you've been taking that phone, because I know a lot of people take their phones into the bathroom. I don't know if Amber does, but you know, a lot of people do. And so to touch your phone, your nasty phone, and then dip straight into sprinkles that you're putting all over that ice cream cake or whatever is so disgusting. With Destiny and the other worker, you don't know if they like rinsed their hands off and like washed with soap and like got really clean and stuff and then started prepping. So I can almost give that a pass because of what I said before. But for Amber, we literally see her hand her phone off to Destiny and then start reaching into the sprinkles. So that is so unsanitary. And knowing that this is an ice cream cake and it's getting handed out to like all of the residents, so everybody gets a little taste of Amber's phone germs, is so gross.
Like, am I gonna have a job when I move? Yes, I am, but not right off the bat. Like, I've tried to explain this to you guys, why we're moving. We are moving with Destiny's mom because Destiny missed her whole like childhood, her whole teenagehood, and it's like finally now that she's older, she can be with her mom, and her mom is having some extreme health issues right now, and she's going to be going through surgery, and we want to be there for her really, really badly. Like, I am literally dropping everything. I am leaving Libby, which is going to be really hard for me because Libby has become such a great person in my life. And she's like my best friend, and she's like my sister. And it's gonna be really hard for Destiny too, because Destiny's known Libby and like so many people here for like her whole life, and it's gonna be really hard. And it's like I'm leaving a wonderful job that I freaking love and I'm so grateful I have. And that's like a whole other thing all in itself. Like, I have to say goodbye to 55 residents that I have fallen in love with. Like, there's a handful of them that I like consider family almost, and it's really, really hard. And
So that is the end of her assisted living stint. And like I said, even though she didn't get fired, I felt like she did so many things to put her job at risk. And not only her job, but Destiny's, because obviously Destiny was also involved in the vlogs and doing things like sliding her face along that little sneeze guard or whatever. So it's like, that's your household's whole income. You put all of this on the internet. You broke so many rules just from my personal knowledge of what it's like working in places that are similar to these. So that was kind of crazy. Now, luckily, like I said, she didn't get fired, or unluckily, depending on which way you want to look at it. But then she says this whole thing about how they're moving to be with Destiny's mom because her mom's going through some surgery and they want to be there with her. And she came out later and admitted that they just lied. They just wanted a change of scenery. And so they left, which I don't really care why she moved, but that just goes to show you that she will lie about the stupidest things, because you can just say that you want to move. Like, people gave her hate no matter what she said. So why not just be honest and say, hey, look, we want to go move here. You know, Destiny wants to be close to her mom. That's it. You don't have to add this whole little bit about surgery if that's not true. Then she also says at the end that, like, these residents have become like her family and she doesn't want to say goodbye to them. And it's like, girl, you literally have been kind of ignoring them the whole time. They, like, come to talk to you and then you send them away. Also, I didn't clip it in here because I just couldn't find the clip, but she did tell somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's, I forget, something that affects the brain, that she was pregnant with, like, alien twins, and that next time they asked, she was going to give them even a crazier story. So that's not really showing love, respect, and care for the people that are in your care, let alone the times that we did see clipped into this video where she tells people, oh, just go sit down. Oh, just get out of here. You can't be in here. You know, whatever. Go away. Like, that is so dismissive, and that's not how I would want to see my family members treated. So for you to say that that's how you're treating people that you consider to be so close to you, be so for real. Anyways, the next clip's gonna be her working for her government job, which, again, I don't think she got fired from. She just quit, but she did do enough to justify being fired. This part's gonna be a lot quicker because there's less information to cover, but I thought it was worth putting in here. Also, just so you know, it's not really a government job. It was a place that was contracted by the government, so keep that in mind.
I forgot to tell you about Destiny's her interview test thingy. She passed the test, 97%. They said that that's one of the highest that they've gotten in a while. So right then and there, they're like, you know what, fill out this paper, let's do an interview, let's go. So she did the interview and they're like, you know what, you're hired. Said it was a pretty simple, you know, test and stuff. So I'm kind of interested in it. I don't know. It is a government job. Like, I really want to focus on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm scared if I get another full-time job that I'm going to let YouTube go down the drain. I don't know. I guess we'll just see though, but
I'm not fully ready, obviously, but I have a job interview today.
oh my gosh, I freaking got the job. Like, what?
I will say at this time she was making decent money on YouTube, so she didn't have to go get a job. But I do think it's just funny how, once again, we see that Destiny gets a job and then Amber asks for a reference to go work at that same job, basically. And I just don't think she realizes how lucky she is to be able to do that, because so many people have to, like, find work on their own, go through the interview process on their own. They don't really know anybody working there. And so for her to be able to twice now get a job where her partner is working and kind of get an easy foot in the door because she already knows somebody who works there, that really is a blessing. And I don't think she really appreciated that enough.
But how did the orientation go? I learned a lot today that it's completely HIPAA. I can't say anything about anything. And so we are getting ready for the good old work. Today is day 1 of work. I'm so nervous. My stomach hurts. I am sitting on the toilet, but I'm not going to the bathroom. See, pants on. But I knew having this job where I sit all day long was going to do something to me, especially because the chair is pretty hard. It's pretty uncomfortable. This job is mentally just exhausting. And I can honestly say there's going to be no way for me to go to work if my back gets any worse than this. I plan on working at that job. Okay, so this is the thing. Destiny wants me to quit my job. Destiny. She literally said, we need to talk. I think you should quit. There's several reasons. Like, ever since I moved here, like, I'm just like a different person in the sense of, like, I'm just tired of sitting. And I mean, I could definitely live off of YouTube for sure. Like, Destiny could quit. We could live off my YouTube money for sure. But it's like, I don't want to do that. I love going somewhere and working every day.
Okay, so Amber worked at this job for about 5 months, and it was a government data entry job, but it was, like, contracted by the government, not through the actual job. It's a contracted thing. But either way, so she very quickly went from orientation to being like, this is so much sitting, you guys, and it's so mentally draining, which, to be fair, and listen, I know I have a lot of similar work experience to Amber. I promise I'm not making it up. I've just worked like in 10 different types of jobs. But I have, in one of my clinics that I worked in, I had to do the VA entry where I was inputting data into the VA website, and it was a total nightmare. The government really does not make things easy. And so I will give her that. It is mentally draining and it is very annoying sitting there. And then anytime you do any kind of like data entry job, you do have quotas where they expect you to meet certain numbers before you clock out. And if you don't, then they have like disciplinary hearings for you. So it's not fun. It is very mentally draining. But her reasoning for wanting to leave, I don't fully believe is just that. I think it's the fact that, you know, she was making good money on YouTube and she didn't need the job. And she only got the job to hang out with Destiny. And when she realized that it was real work and not just something where she could like go in and goof off, then she didn't want to do it anymore. She just wanted to sit at home. But she's trying to play it off like, oh, ever since I moved, I want to get more active and Destiny is actively encouraging me to quit, which, keep in mind, she was bothering Destiny at work all day, every day, from what it sounds like. And on top of this, this job is where Destiny met Dana, and so of course she wanted Amber to quit. Amber was driving her up the absolute wall, and she wanted to be with Dana. And like I said, she was with this company for about 5 months, and she only lived with Destiny's mom for about 7 months. So this was pretty close to when her and Destiny broke up and then Destiny got with Dana. Which, by the way, I'm clipping all of these videos, but I'm not including the full videos, and the creators of the original content added their own commentary and some extra details. So if you want to check those out on any parts that you're a little bit more interested in, they're all in the description box down below. I highly encourage you to go look at the original sources to get some additional information on anything that you're interested in.
I woke up and I was like, I want to quit my job. I'm over it. I honestly love my job. I love doing what I do. I'm good at what I do. And I adore, like literally adore, love, enjoy the people I work with. But like, I hate hours. I'm just being honest. I really wanted a full-time job, which is what I got. But this is more than full-time. I'm working way more than 40 hours a week. And that's not what I was looking for. I have a dog. I have 2 cats. And I know they're not real children, real babies, but they're mine. They're my babies and they're my children. And I want to be here to take care of them more. And
I'm sorry that that clip is at double speed. I'm not really sure why that happened, but regardless, we're seeing the change in her excuses. It went from being that she's sitting down all the time to now that she feels like a bad pet parent because she should be at home more, and the fact that the hours are long because she wanted an 8-hour-a-day job and she got a 9-hour-a-day job. So, you know, it's just more and more excuses and reasoning for why she wants to quit rather than just coming on and saying, I made a decision, I'm quitting.
my government job was, I was working for the VA, and I would document, I would index, I would split and separate veterans files, just tons of files, and it was all through the computer. And I would sit and sit and sit all day long, just constantly doing this all day long. I started noticing that I was getting heart palpitations. My anxiety was through the roof at work. I was getting anxiety attacks. I would have to run to the bathroom, and I would just sit in a stall and cry sometimes. And might I add you, they're very strict on like bathroom time, which I understand because you're under production. You have to meet a certain quota and image. My feet was swelling really bad. My legs started swelling. My hands, I noticed I was puffier in the face. And honestly, I can turn this to, it's because I'm fat, because of my sodium intake, because of this, because of that. And I started noticing I was just cramping really bad from sitting 12 hours a day. And I had animals at home. A lot of people are like, Amberlynn, you quit your job so you can just be fucking lazy. My government job was the laziest job in the fucking world. You sat there all day, and if you got up to go to the bathroom, like, trainers and supervisors would run in after you and be like, come on, you have to meet your production. And
first of all, I love the way that she says everything that she does there, like she's trying to fill a word count on a resume or something. Like, you can literally just say that you were putting files basically from paper to digital. That's all it takes. You don't have to describe every little button that you click. I think most people can understand the idea of a data center getting hard copy paper and inputting it into a system. And then she starts getting back into why she doesn't want to work there anymore. And her excuse is that she's getting a lot of anxiety from working, plus she's swelling. And in order to deal with the anxiety, she's stepping away from her desk a lot to go to the bathroom, and that supervisors and managers are chasing her in there. But then she throws out there that, like, everybody gets chased down for going to the bathroom, and that is just not how it is. One of my first jobs that I ever worked was at a call center where we did have to make quotas, and they did say things like, hey, make sure you hit your quotas, but nobody wants to be chasing you down. If you didn't hit the quotas, you would just have a disciplinary meeting where they would say, hey, you were supposed to be at this percent of, filled out whatever, and you hit this percent. What's going on? You need to raise your numbers. Otherwise, we're going to have to fill your seat with somebody who can fill the numbers. So it's not like they want to be chasing people down. They have their own shit to be working with. It's honestly a little bit pyramid schemey where they have quotas that they have to do. So like if they're running a data center, their data center has to be outputting so much. So they're only chasing after you if you were like a big problem. And the clip that I took from the person who was doing the commentary said that somebody, I think on Facebook, had made reference to the fact that Amber was taking an excessive amount of breaks at work to the point where a lot of people noticed. But again, that's like secondhand information. So take that with a grain of salt. You can go watch her video, which again is linked in the comments below, if you want to see like exactly what she had to say about that. But I just thought that was worth pointing out, the fact that somebody apparently said that even Amber's coworkers noticed that she was running off to the bathroom a lot. And that makes the most sense to me because like no manager wants to be chasing after you. But anyways, let's just jump right on into the next money-making opportunity that she completely killed for herself.
Hey guys, so it's day one of me being on Optavia and let's do this thing. I got my box. I'm gonna do an unboxing for you guys, but I have to eat 30 minutes of waking up and drink a cup of water. This is way over a cup, but chug. So if you're new to my channel or you haven't seen already, I have to eat 5 of their foods a day and then 1 lean and green a day, which I can explain later in this video. This video is gonna be my first week on Optavia. Gotta learn how to pronounce it still. And I kind of just want to share my journey with that. I do want to say that my starting weight for this, well, my overall starting weight ever is 560. That was a month ago. But my starting weight on this, as of today, is 553.4. So I am down like 6.6 this month. So I've opened the first fueling and I'm going to eat this and try this on camera. It's the cranberry honey nut granola bar. So I chose something that I feel like might be my least favorite, just to kind of get that first taste out of the way. I know that's probably a weird way to think, but let's try it. I'm really nervous. It's so good. It tastes exactly like what you think it tastes like, cranberry honey nut granola bar. So I have to eat every 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna set my alarm for that. Film a video of this unboxing for you guys.
Just to let you know, the video that I clipped from had all the text on screen, so if you think that's funny, again, you can check them out. If you don't think it's funny, I'm sorry. That was the only clip I could find of her doing the whole Optavia thing, and I just wanted to talk about this because this was an MLM that reached out to her, and so I truly believe, and I think that you will hear it in these clips as well, she is trying to upsell the diet so that she can become a seller of this, because if you think about it, this truly probably was the best possible money-making opportunity for her. She has said before that she's scared of losing weight on YouTube because the majority of her viewers come to see how big she is, or are people of Tommy's community, if you know what I'm saying, that want to see her eat. And so she is afraid to succeed. However, if she joins this MLM about weight loss and she goes from, like, I think at this point she was in the 400s. If she goes from the 400s down to 170, which is her goal weight, then that would be amazing. She absolutely has a large enough following that a lot of people would want to purchase this product from her and get involved, and they are obscenely expensive. And so she could earn a decent cut from that. With somebody of her platform size, usually I don't advise getting into an MLM. I think that they are so disgusting. And even if she got into one, she would still be like predatory towards the people that were purchasing from her, in my opinion. But I'm just saying she is one of the few people that does have an opportunity to earn a lot of money off of this. But as we will see very quickly, even though her words with it are very flowery and promoting it, she clearly is like not wanting to go through with the program. And so she totally squanders this opportunity to basically just sit on her ass and let money come to her.
Okay, y'all. I got all of my feelings set and ready to go. I'm either, because these will not fit in the cabinet. So I have them in these containers, by the way. 3 of them. I'm thinking about setting them on the counter, but if it takes up too much space, which our counter is pretty big, which I'm grateful for. If it takes up too much space, we have a pretty big dining room, and I'll just set it on, I don't know, like a table in the corner. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I think the packaging is so flippin' cute. Like, it's so colorful and stuff. So we just got back from hanging out at Becky's sister's. There was pizza. It looked good, but with this program I noticed that I didn't feel as compelled to have a piece because I knew I couldn't. In the past, everything else I've ever done, counting calories or Weight Watchers, I was able to have pizza. Even if I was eating healthy, I would still convince myself that a piece was okay. This time, it didn't even happen. Stuck to everything I was supposed to today. And here is my lean and green for the night. We just have some chicken with a little bit of seasoning.
All right, so this is why I think that she was trying to like show up for the MLM, is because she shows all of the stuff she got out of the package and like she put it into these little containers, very like nicely organized, which yes is very Amber coded to do. But I think that that was also in order to show off the products and would explain why she got such a big welcome kit, because if you sign up for an MLM, generally speaking, the first time you order, they give you like a welcome kit with a lot of products so that you can try everything. So I fully believe that she signed up so that she could, you know, start selling, because that's how they get you. If you don't know MLMs, basically it's a pyramid scheme, and how they work is that when you come to buy from them because you just want a product, you don't want to become a seller, generally speaking, they say, oh, well, you could buy for $50, but if you become a seller, I can give you a discount on the product you want, plus I can give you this welcome kit, which is usually an XYZ dollar value, but you'll get it at a discount. And then you can earn money off of that. And basically you make more money for each person you recruit. So the products themselves are actually not really what you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell people on selling more product and then reporting to you so that the income like goes up towards the top, the 1% that actually is like making money off of these things. So that's why I think that she did this, because she now has this welcome kit, at least in my eyes, that's what it looks like. And I'm sure they had no problem at all selling her on the fact that, oh, you'll lose weight and then you can get people to buy from you just from the fact that you lost weight and you already have this platform. It's a huge money-making opportunity. That's just how I feel. And I feel like that also tracks because of the fact that she is trying to sell up the fact that she didn't even want a piece of pizza because she just felt so satisfied. And then she shows us her lean and green at the end, which looks unusually good for Amber food. Like usually her chicken looks so dry. Granted, her vegetables have absolutely nothing on them. There's like a very, very tiny drizzling of balsamic vinegar, but I'm just saying, I think she put a little bit of effort into plating because she was trying to sell this as like a good meal that you could have. You guys can let me know if you think I'm off base on that, but I truly feel that she signed up to sell stuff on this product line. Also, this really is not about her diet in this video. However, I would feel really weird not mentioning it. I truly believe that the way to success is to let yourself have things. I don't think that a diet that doesn't include pizza is a good diet. Granted, this program is not meant to be for life. It's supposed to be for like 1 to 2 years while you lose the weight, and then you're able to transition to a like regular diet, and obviously less time than that if you don't have a whole lot to lose. But for me personally, I really prefer calorie counting, because then if you know that you have a party you're going to later with pizza, you can be like, okay, well, a slice of pizza is roughly X amount and I want to save that, so I'll just make sure I eat a little bit more clean in the beginning of the day and then have the pizza. And then that way you're not like having to do this weird transition time where you're going from an unsustainable diet into living your life. You're just already used to living in that way. But again, that's not what this is about.
We are on day 2, February 2nd. and I just woke up. So I'm having a dark chocolate cherry shake, and I'm gonna do a taste test for you guys. I'm gonna put more water in it. Because I noticed that yesterday when I had the strawberry one, that it says put a cup of water in there, but I think it tastes better with a little bit more. Actually, a lot better. That's better for sure. So far, I'd say the shakes are my least favorite, but everything else I've tried has been really good. So today I actually weighed in at 550.0. So in the first day, I lost 3.4. Of course, it's gonna come off pretty quickly because your girl is big and you gotta lose that water weight. That's important. So I wanted to give just like a little update on how I'm feeling and kind of like where my thoughts are today. Like I said, it's day 2. I'm currently just in the spot of, I had my number 2 feeling maybe less than an hour ago. How I'm feeling is like really good. I haven't had any cravings. I'm not hungry. Like before my feeling number 2, I was just like, I'm not even hungry. So yeah, this food and the way I'm eating definitely takes away cravings. I know it's only day 2, and this food does make you feel fuller because it's healthy and it's nutritional and it's low carb but high protein, the right amount of fiber, you know, things like that. This is a very drastic difference from how I used to eat.
To me personally, this really does feel like she's trying to sell the food rather than her usual loop of how it is when she starts a new diet. Generally, when she starts a new diet, she does do the thing where she says that she feels so much more like satiated and that the food is healthier. And so I do understand that. However, I will say that this feels a little different in that she is like really trying to make the food sound so good. Where she's like, oh yeah, you know, I had this smoothie and yesterday it wasn't that great, but I added water and it tasted better. And then she's like, yeah, that's way better. But you can see on her face that she's still disgusted by it. And in a regular vlog where she was filming a new diet, I think that she would probably just be like, oh yeah, this is okay, but I think I'm gonna do something different tomorrow, whenever she has that disgusted face on. But now she's like kind of locked into these choices that she ordered. And then she talks about how she feels so good, but you'll see in the next clip that she actually kind of describes not feeling so good. And I feel like that is her wanting to give an excuse as to why she's going to eventually go on to quit, but still trying to keep the tone upbeat so she can sell this.
And I can already feel myself, like, every time I go sit in bed or something, I'm just like, I could take a nap right now. So, I've been told that day 2 I might get a headache, which I don't have one yet. Day 3 I'm gonna become sluggish. Day 4 still sluggish, lack of energy, headaches, like just it's gonna be one of the worst days, so I'm very nervous for that. But day 5, that's when fat burning is supposed to start, and that's when my energy goes right back up. So I'm excited for that day. Okay, you guys, welcome to day 3. So it is the end of the night, like way at night. And I have a little story time for you guys. So let's get into it. Yesterday, mentally, physically, I felt incredible. I don't think that there is a time that I have done a program or a weight loss journey diet situation where I felt as good as I did, and that's just 100% honesty. I was getting into my head so bad. Day 1, everything that I ate from the program I liked. I enjoyed all the tastes. I wasn't hungry at all. Day 2, I wasn't hungry at all either, but the situation was every single thing I tried as my first 3, was it 3? Yeah. My first 3 fuelings when I'm supposed to have 5 a day, They all were disgusting, and I'm just being honest. Everyone's taste buds are different. I get it. The first two things I was able to eat and just like not enjoy. The third thing I was literally gagging, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, I literally almost puked. It was the like chicken soup one. I don't know, the texture of it. It was just, it took every ounce of me to finish that. It was just disgusting. Ugh! So I was starting to get down and out at that point. At that point I had some friends over. We were about to have more people over. We were gonna have a bonfire, and I was just like, is this even worth it? Like, this food sucks. But it really doesn't. Everything I had the day prior was great. And then the two feelings that I had later on yesterday in the day were great. It's just, there are gonna be some things I don't like, just like in the real world, and there's gonna be some things I love. The good thing about this is you don't have to eat the ones that you don't like. You can send them back and they'll send you your favorites back to you. So that's awesome. So
we all know she's not going to send those back to get the ones that she wants. She's just throwing this stuff in. Like I said, it's like marketing. This is really something that I think she wanted to make money off of, because she says that everything was disgusting, which she kind of has to at this point because she already knows she's going to quit, and you can tell by the look on her face. And so she's like, on the one hand, she's like, yeah, the food is just really good and I feel really tired. But then on the other hand, she's like, oh, but you know, the side effects go away. And also the food's really not that bad. It's just, there's going to be things you don't like. You ordered like a whole array of things and there was 3 things you didn't like. Also, she says, I had to like choke down the chicken noodle soup. You don't have to finish it. You know what I mean? I can understand if you're like, if you're trying to calorie count and you're already on the skinny side, then it's really tight how many calories you have to eat in order to lose weight, but be still eating enough calories to be healthy. But at her weight and with what we've seen on the nutrition packets, most of these foods are around like the 150 calorie mark. So if she starts eating the soup and has like, you know, a couple of bites and doesn't like it, it's really not going to put her progress at her size back that far to just not eat the soup and make something else. You know, she didn't have to choke it down. Regardless, that's kind of beside the point. I don't know, that irked me. But like I said, I feel that she is trying to sell the program. And at the same time, she's doing her regular Amber thing where it's not easy. She doesn't like the fact that she's still feeling hungry. She says she's not, but I know based on the calories that she absolutely must be. I would be starving and I am not close to her size. So she's very, very hungry. The food does not taste good and she gets a lot of pleasure out of eating food. And for some reason, she decided to start this diet when they have so many outings. I mean, this is day 3 and she's already been to 2 different outings. How does that make sense to start a diet that is so restrictive at a time when you have parties during that week? You know what I mean? I mean, props to her for not doing the whole, oh, I'll do it after we get through these parties, but also like, we know her track record. That was just a bad idea.
We're having a bonfire and everyone was sitting around with their hot dogs and their chips and their this and their that, and I'm just like, can't have any of it. Like, emotionally I was a wreck, but like physically I felt so good. My mind and my brain was like, it's like a fog was lifted. It's wild. It's a really wild ride and it felt really good. But again, I was living in fear and I was trying to find tons of excuses to quit. I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to find every excuse to quit and I found one. So I logged everything into my MyFitnessPal from day 1 and day 2 and it was only about 900 calories. So I got a little freaked out. I honestly was freaking out. I'm gonna be real. I know a lot of weight loss patients eat around that amount. It's like 900, 1200, and then eventually they eat 1500. And that's how it is with this program. You start off by eating 900. And then once you get closer to goal, you start eating more and they start teaching you how to not eat their feelings, but choose healthier meals throughout the day. And eventually your calories do rise and get higher. And I started getting freaked out. I also had a lot of people in my ear telling me, yeah, 900 calories seems too little and all this stuff. And I was just like, getting scared. But the thing was, I wasn't hungry at all. I felt satisfied, and every time it was time to eat again, I was like, I wasn't even hungry. And I just felt really, really good. If you're getting the right nutrients and this and that, then, you know, eating low calorie is okay, especially someone, you know, my size. So I woke up today and I weighed in at 550.6, so that's a 0.6 weight gain because of the sodium, and that's really the only thing I can think of, because that cup of noodle, I'm gonna be real, it has a lot of sodium in it because Optavia is very low sodium. So I was retaining a lot of water from deciding to eat that cup of noodle, and I drank a lot of water and I was holding on to it. It was just like a mess. So I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm not doing Optavia. I'm just gonna do my own thing. I ended up making a really healthy meal. And then I just felt binge crazy. Like, I just wanted to binge on everything. So I ended up having pasta. Like, it was a mess. And when I was being super strict on Optavia, I didn't have that urge to binge. I didn't have the cravings. It's wild. It was wild. Like, Optavia really takes that away from you. And I know it was only 2 days that I was on it, but I feel ashamed that I thought that this program wasn't going to work for me for a minute there, because I had so much going on in my head mentally, and I was told that this was going to happen. This was part of the detoxing and getting used to eating healthier, and I just gave into it and I messed up. But I do have an appointment to talk to her tomorrow at 8 p.m., a set time. So I'm going to be talking to my health coach and figuring out what we think I should do for me.
So we're already coming to a close on what is probably her biggest, outside of YouTube, money-making opportunity, and she couldn't even keep it up long enough to get out of the like little warning phase, because I think she said on day 5 she's supposed to be feeling better. She's quitting on day 3. And she does say that she talked to her health coach and that her health coach kind of like guided her through some stuff, which I feel like was partially to motivate people to realize that they can go on this program and have a coach helping. But I just thought it was so funny that she's like, I was looking for reasons to quit, but I was so satiated and everything was going good. And then I did quit for a day, but you know, I felt like totally crap and I could have just gone back on it. So I wanted to get back on it to see how I was feeling, and you're going to feel great and satiated, and like the health coaches are there to help. And also it was too little calories for me, but if you're eating enough nutrition, it doesn't matter how many calories you're eating, like it's good enough for you. Like, it's so like good and bad. She wants to quit, but she also wants to sell this. And so she doesn't know what to say, because how can you justify saying this program is amazing, I did all this research and it's going to work for you, but then also say, hey, I did no research and I want to quit because I feel like crap and the food is gross. Like, you can't have both of those narratives going on at the same time. And so it's just very confusing for her audience.
A few days ago, I have officially decided not to do Optavia. I have decided this through talking with my health coach, with my girlfriend, with tons of people who are close to me. I thought 800 to 900 calories is not sustainable for someone my weight, and if I was to ever try eating more than that, I would gain weight. It would mess up with my metabolism, and I just don't think I'm ready for that low of calorie. My doctor was totally fine with this program. I did talk to her about it. She was totally fine with it until I told her how many calories I would be eating, and then she told me that's just not a good idea. From a doctor's standpoint, she told me it's just too low of calorie for you or for anybody to sustain in their life. It took me days to decide on this, and I just figured I'd let you guys know, because this whole video is the ups and the downs of this crazy thing we call a weight loss journey. Yeah, I wanted to end this video. This video did not go as planned at all, as you guys know, but I kind of wanted to show you guys just what I had, and I know it's probably confusing why I decided not to do Optavia. It's just,
It's a very great program. The food is not junk food, has essentials in the food. It has vitamins, good probiotics. It's all really good food, like good for you food. And I just know that for me, having 800 to 900 calories is scary and bad for my body. And I wish more than anything I would have known that prior to doing the program. And I know that I even said in this video that it's totally fine to have low calories, such low calories, but I'm just glad my doctor kind of was like, no, it's not good. It's not good for your metabolism. So glad that that happened. It does suck, and my health coach is still there for me. She's an amazing person, and I was scared that I let her down, but I'm just really glad that I didn't. She's just more so worried about me finding what works.
First of all, there's absolutely no way a doctor told her that this diet was okay and then that she had to disclose the calories for them to be like, oh, yeah, no, don't do that. Like, that would be one of their first questions if you're talking about doing a weight loss program. Because what did she ask exactly? If she didn't describe what was going on in the diet, what did she ask? Should I go on a weight loss diet? Of course a doctor's going to approve that at her size. Are you kidding me? And if she expanded on it at all and was like, oh yeah, you know, I want to be on this weight loss program that has like prepackaged meals and you eat like 5 times a day or whatever, and it's low calorie, of course they're going to ask how many calories are in the food, especially mentioning eating 5 times a day. You know what I mean? So unless she said that she's going to have like a small snack every 5 hours and didn't mention the fact that it was a program, but like either way, it just doesn't add up, the doctor part. But once again, you will never be able to convince me that this was not her trying to get a business opportunity with this MLM, because she has failed diets before and she has never talked about a failed diet in this manner. She is like glazing it while at the same time giving excuses for why she quit. And I solidly believe that's because she thought that she would be able to sell this MLM on the side, even if she quit it. And obviously that did not work out for her. Let's go ahead and look at what she tried next.
Mini business. I collect earrings. I don't wear like any of them. I have thousands of earrings and I think I've worn maybe 5% of them. Which I'm showing you them right here. So if you guys do want to buy my earrings, what I'm doing is I am selling a pair or how many pairs you want, but they're going to be mystery pairs. So you'll never know what you're going to get. My Depop store name is Lovely Earrings. I'm super excited. I appreciate you guys so much, and I just feel like I need to do something bigger and better. I know it sounds really weird, but earrings are a passion of mine. If you are in the jewelry business, I'm not saying I am, but I hope to be truly in the business one day, then you understand where I'm coming from. Something about them it makes me happy as I'm sitting here not wearing them. But I collect earrings, and I don't even collect them to wear them. You know, I just collect them to have them. They bring me joy and happiness, and they're cute, and there's so many unique ones out there. So I really, really
want to open up this little store thing, which I have opened it up, and I'm just like, wow, okay. So it's overwhelming.
It is actually the next day. I got reported by several viewers of mine here on YouTube for selling mystery earrings. I knew I was going to be reported, but the thing is, I didn't know that you're not allowed to sell mystery earrings on Depop, so it's totally fine. But the thing is, I had so many people who already bought mystery earrings, and I felt like, okay, well, if it's against the thing, my item got taken off, I want to refund everyone. So I thought it was going to be a simple refund. It has been very stressful. I keep trying to get a hold of my bank so I can link my PayPal to the account, because that's the only way that I can refund people, because they can't ask for refunds. It has been crazy. I'm new at this. This is literally, it hasn't even been 24 hours and I'm trying to like sell my earrings and stuff, and
You know, if this doesn't work out for me, it's fine. Everyone who did buy through Instagram, though, you're still going to get your earrings. I do still want to continue selling my earrings on Depop, but I'm going to have to actually put them down as an earring instead of mystery earrings, so you guys can buy specific earrings. If it doesn't work out on Depop, we can try somewhere else. It's just very unfortunate that there's just a lot of negativity surrounding something that was making me so happy. And it was just like, it was the serotonin that I needed. And now I'm just like stressed.
So that was her next business venture. She tried selling her earrings, and I can't understand how she's been online for so long and doesn't think to check the terms of service on what she's doing. Like, to be on Depop and not even check before saying that you're going to give mystery stuff out is kind of crazy. Like, you should look into that. Granted, I was also surprised that you're not allowed to sell mystery earrings or mystery boxes or whatever on Depop, but also keep in mind, like, she wasn't like sanitizing these earrings or anything like that, so it does feel like kind of a sketchy business move to begin with. She also did try to sell some of her choosies on Facebook Marketplace, as well as like a couple of other odds and ends here and there. So that was kind of her next step out of YouTube, was trying to like sell her belongings. And I think it's really funny that she's like, oh yeah, you know, I hope to be in the jewelry business someday. Like, once again, I feel like she was just really trying to be business Lynn and upsell what she was doing, when in reality, I think she just realized that she had a hoarding problem and she wanted to get some money off of it, which, like, girl, get your coin. But really, if you wanted to do something that was like a better idea, it would have been nicer for the people buying to actually see what they're going to receive. And so obviously, she didn't want to go through the effort of photographing each one of those earrings individually, but that would have been the better thing to do. And you don't have to list them all at the same time. You know, maybe you just go through one color at a time. So you start with like your silver box and you just list every pair of silver earrings you have. And then when those are sold, you move on to your red earrings or something like that. You know, you don't have to do it all at once, but of course, Amber just wants to do things in the laziest possible way, and this whole selling things on the side venture is how she got her PayPal account banned, because people were saying that she was supposed to be giving refunds and she wasn't. She was just taking money and never sending out the product, and so PayPal did not want her to be on their platform anymore. So that pretty much brings us up to current day, and I'm just going to go ahead and run through the things that she has kind of flopped on in recent history very, very quickly. When she moved up to Wisconsin temporarily, her and Tommy had discussed doing a little like business where she was selling merch, and Tommy actually had a hand in making the merch, which you could tell because it was the first time that the merch was ever cute, and that just like failed before it even launched. I don't think she even had that listed up for anybody to purchase anything. And then after that, of course, she got demonetized on YouTube, which was 100% her fault, because they really did give her warnings about what kind of content they were striking, and they give you time to remove things. So as soon as they said that they were looking into her for promoting bad eating, she should have just taken down every mukbang that she had on her channel, but of course, she did not do that. And then she went on to delete all of her content, which makes it a lot harder to get remonetized. She goes over to Twitch while she's demonetized, breaking the terms of service by being over there, which she did get away with for a very long time. However, the fact of the matter is that she kind of lost that job opportunity as well by doing the whole VC call thing with Kristina and getting involved with the glass, which I still solidly believe that she was involved with the glass package thing. So squandered that opportunity, came back over to YouTube thinking that she could get remonetized, and immediately got demonetized again. And then we saw her pop up on TikTok live for literally one stream, and I don't know what happened there yet, but what I do know is the fact of the matter is she has not been back, and she played copyrighted music very first stream on there. So I just don't have a lot of faith that she has it worked out. I'm even thinking that it's a complete possibility that she really does still have the PayPal ban and thought that she could get paid out and realized she couldn't, and now she's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that for free. So we'll have to see if she comes back. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this walk down memory lane of Amber's jobs with me. I kind of forgot about some of the early jobs that she had and all the stuff that she got into. So I thought it was interesting, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you have not already liked and subscribed, that would really mean so much to me. If you made it this far, you already know. Stay Delulu, but not that Delulu. I'll see you in the next one.